Mr. Play It Safe, he was afraid to fly. He packed his suitcase and kissed his kids goodbye. He waited his whole damn life to take that flight. What's up, YouTube? You're awake. And as the plane crashed down, he thought, oh, isn't this nice? Rockfin, are you awake? Do you think? He's like a riot. Sorry. All right. Okay. I saw Alanis Morissette last night. It was a killer show. There's that. It was a killer show. Rock the house. It was great. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the patron stream / Rockfin Premium stream. This stream goes out to everyone initially. It goes out publicly, and I respond directly to what the patrons and Rockfin Premium members are saying. They send me some stuff going on in the news, and I check it out. And it's an informal, casual, fun time stream. Sometimes we talk music. Sometimes we talk pets. Sometimes, of course, we talk some news. It's the casual, loosey goosey stream. Which, speaking of Lucy, she's over there. She's asleep. She's doing okay. She's doing okay. She's doing better. I know a lot of you have been asking, which I appreciate very much. And she is doing better, which has made me very happy. And yeah, so there's that. And if you want to become a patron, patreon.com/romplacone. That is the best way to support this show and make sure it stays on the air. I mean, really, I am now posting everything. I post everything on Rockfin / Rockfin Premium, and I post everything on Patreon now. Every single thing I do, I post on Patreon, not just the extra bonus content for members. I post everything. So the extra bonus content and everything else. And the way this stream works, I respond directly to the patrons, and the replay is only available on Patreon and Rockfin Premium. So it goes out to everyone initially, but if you can't catch it in real time or want to catch the replay later, you got to be a Patreon or Rockfin Premium member. And again, to join, patreon.com/romplacone. I do not have tiers on my Patreon, TIERS. I don't have tiers. Everyone gets all the same stuff, and it's a pay what you can level. So even if you just got an extra $1 a month, that goes a long way. Please join today, patreon.com/romplacone. Even $1 a month, all it takes, folks. All it takes. All right. So let's go. We're going to do some of the stuff from last week because, as you guys remember, or some of you remember, last week I was getting locked out of my account every other minute. And it went on. I don't want to say it stopped because it'll probably start again, but it started last week at this time, Thursday. It went on all weekend, continued into Monday morning. I emailed them, I tweeted them, and I said, look, you're not letting me verify. You're just locking me out. You're going, hey, verify this. I'm like, okay. And then you just lock me out. You're like, yeah, we can't. And I sent them the screenshots. I'm like, this is what's happening. And finally, I was able to verify then all of a sudden. Finally, it took me to the next step that it was locking me out of. But then it kept happening, and sometimes I could verify, sometimes I couldn't. So, and my last email with YouTube, they basically just said, yeah, that's drag. They basically said, yeah, for whatever reason, you're just always going to have to do this, and sometimes it just won't work. That was basically the gist I got from their last email. They were like, yeah, sorry, this is a thing. Because at first they were kind of explaining the 2-point verification as if as if it was on my end, and I'm like, no, I get it. I set that up. I don't have a problem with that. You're not letting me do it. You take me to a dead end screen. That's what's happening. That's all right. I've explained it before. I don't need to explain it again. I gotta say this because I know that this is kind of where we're at right now. There are a lot of people out there, and I am among them, who I think are kind of just kind of drop jawed, just kind of feeling the sting that 2021 has been even worse than 2020. And I think it has. I mean, I know it's different depending on the person. For me personally, this year has been way worse than 2020. Way, way, way worse. And I know there's a lot of other people that feel that way too. The amount of just hatred and hostility that exists in our society, the amount of just pure selfishness that exists in our society on every level, the amount of just so many people are more concerned about being right online than they are about actually changing anything. And it has reached a new level. I mean, it has truly reached a new level. And this year has been a train wreck in so many ways. And I think a lot of people are kind of just left going, what the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, you're looking around and you're just going, I don't even know. God, can someone just call me when this is over? Holy shit. And I have those days where I feel that way. I know that. I have days where I'm not at my best self and I know it. I can tell. I'm like, I'm not at my best self right now. And I hate that. I really hate, I try to be a decent member of society. I try to do my best. But sometimes I can't right now because I'm worried because my cat's sick and I got to get her medicine and there's all these other things going on in the world and I'm not trying, you know, I use myself as an example just because that's the point of reference I have to go by. I'm not saying that I am special. In fact, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I know there's a ton of you out there who feel like I do, especially if you're watching right now. I know a lot of people, you feel the same way and you're going through the same thing and you have stuff going on in your life. And some of it might be very severe. Some of it might not be as severe. It doesn't matter. Mentally we're going through the same emotional roller coaster. And I just want to say, because maybe someone out there needs to hear it, because I know sometimes I need to hear it from someone else. I just need to hear somebody say it. So I'll say it. And if you need to hear it, well, now you're hearing it. We will get through this. We just will. We will get through this. And when I say that, I don't mean that there aren't difficult times ahead. Of course there are. I mean, climate collapse is at our door, and we need to act, and we need to act bold, and we haven't shown signs of that happening as of now. And we really need to do everything we can to change that tide. No pun intended. So I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything by saying this, but there is a huge difference. There's a huge, huge difference between being a realist and just being a completely counterproductive nihilist. And I am not the latter. I am not the latter. So that's why I'm saying we will get through this. It will happen. I wish I could say when. I can't at this point. I don't think anyone can. But we will get through this. What's going on contemporarily right now, what's been going on the past 18 months with this pandemic, we will get through it. And that doesn't mean there aren't tough times ahead. That doesn't mean we don't have a ton of fixing left for society. Doesn't mean anything like that. But sometimes you just need that reminder that, yes, we are going to get through this. Sometimes you just need to hear that, and it just needs to be left there. We are going to get through this. You just put one foot in front of the other. We will get through this. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but it is the truth in this case. And I was thinking about that earlier this morning. I think about that a lot, actually. I mean, right now I'm supposed to be getting ready for a show in Cleveland, but I'm not, because, we decided it's still not safe to be doing 20 some cities in a row, because it isn't, with the way the variant's going, it isn't really safe to tour that extensively, at least not, I mean, if we were like touring arenas or something, and yeah, I mean, maybe that'd be different. Or if we could do outdoor shows, that'd be different. But comedy, you don't really have that option. It's a small nightclub, and so, we are where we're at. And I never thought, I mean, I didn't think in January I'd be saying, wow, 2021 was worse than 2020. But for me, that's certainly been the case. And for a lot of people, that's certainly been the case. And even if that's not the case, you might be in a case where, gee, 2020 was worse than this, but we're still in such a shit place. And I really thought we'd be further than this. So I guess, what I'm trying to say is, again, I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but I feel like something like this is something that needs repeated, that some people just need to hear. We will get through this. We will get through this. So, all right. So, there you go. Let's move on to some of the stuff the patrons are saying. We get it, Rod. We're going to get through it. Hey, Rod, are we going to get through it? Yes, I think we are. Some days it's just my wife has had to put up with me being worried about Lucy, which which makes her, she just has to worry about both of us. She's like, I'm worried about the cat too, and I'm also worried that my husband's going to freak the fuck out. I'm worried that my husband is going to like just go nuts on his own because he is so, if this cat farts wrong, he freaks out. And I'm trying to keep it in perspective. I really am. I'm trying. I mean, there are times where I hear myself and I'm like, I'd be rolling my eyes at myself right now. I'll be on the phone with my vet tech, and I'm writing them a book, and I don't. I mean, I'm very polite. I'm not like I'm one of those customers that I think they just feel bad for. Like this guy, God, it's hard to deal with him sometimes, but he really appreciates us, and he's so gracious, and he has a good heart, and you just can't help but feel for the guy. At least I hope that's what they think. I mean, maybe it's like, oh fuck this guy, and I can't blame them if that's how they feel. I do my best. But I have to tell them everything. I have to be like, this is what I think might be wrong, and please help me. Um, that's how I've been for a while. But I'm doing my best, folks. I really am. All right. So let's see here. Let's go to what the patrons are saying. Long Beach, what's up, buddy? Not too far from me. Global warming river otter revolt. Ooh, what's going on here? Let's take a look. See, Long Beach shares this from The Guardian. River otter attacks baffle authorities in Anchorage, Alaska. The otters are pissed off in Anchorage. All right. Officials say care will be taken to remove only animals exhibiting unusual behaviors after woman, boy, and dog are bitten. Okay. Residents of Anchorage, Alaska, used to living alongside moose and bear, now face a threat from a more diminutive creature, the humble river otter. On Friday, the Alaska Department of Fish and Game alerted residents to a pack of aggressive otters which have attacked dogs, children, and adults near creeks, rivers, and lakes. Humans are river otters' only significant predator. Attacks the other way are not common, officials said. Why would humans prey on an otter? Like, why? I mean, humans don't eat otter, do they? I don't think so. So why would humans ever be a predator to them? I guess maybe there's some assholes out there who kill them for fun. I'm sure that exists. Isn't that amazing? There's people like that in the world. I'm going to go kill a creature for fun. For fun. That's fun for you. Killing a living creature. That's you enjoy that. I mean, when Dick Cheney went quail hunting in a fenced-in area where they were just shooting quail for fun, he should have immediately lost his job. They should have been like, you are a complete psychopath, which is nothing we didn't already know. But that should have been like the disqualifier. I mean, I think it should be illegal for you to hold public office it should be illegal to hunt for fun. That should be illegal. If it is part of your food source, that's different. That's different. If you live in a food desert, hunting's part of your food source, that's completely different. I'm not going to judge somebody who needs to feed their family. but killing an animal for fun? The fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? There's something seriously not right. Like, anyone who does that should be evaluated psychiatrically. I mean, why would you do that? Why in the world people do it? So I don't know. Maybe there's some people up in Alaska who kill river otters for fun, and they're completely psychotic and evil. That's evil. Ugh. Anyway, um, because of the risk to public safety, efforts will be made to locate this group of river otters and remove them. Care will be taken to only remove the animals exhibiting these unusual behaviors. Last week, a woman was bitten while rescuing her dog from otters at a lake. Okay, well, that makes sense why someone would be bitten in that scenario. They're helping their dog. The same day, in another part of the city, a group of otters attacked a dog. Why was the dog in the? Well, I guess maybe. I mean, dogs can swim, but can they swim? Would they want to swim in Alaska? I mean, the waters are freaking cold up there. I guess maybe if you like ice fish with your dog, if it's that kind of a dog. The boy's mother, Tiffany Fernandez, told the Anchorage Daily News he has 2 fang marks on his back thigh and one on the front thigh of each leg. Oh, this happened to a boy. Oh, okay. So they were playing near a duck pond, and so the otters are straight up chasing humans. Damn. In July, a river otter tested positive for rabies. Ugh. So why are they doing this? A wildlife biologist who inspected the otter, Brian Riley, told Alaska Public Media the otter was covered in porcupine quails. The two species rarely interact because they prefer water and land respectively. It is more common to see evidence of river otter activity than to see otters. Most often they live in groups, either mothers with pups or bachelor males banded together. Officials say they did not know the composition of the aggressive Anchorage pack. So it's not common for them to go on land, but apparently they're going on land. Apparently these river otters are going on land, and they're like, let's chase this kid. Let's attack this dog. And they've had a scuffle with a porcupine, which that cannot be pleasant. They got those quills that'll sting you and stick to you. That's so. I wonder why this is. Could it be like Could it be they don't have much food? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on in the waters, even up in Alaska with the salmon and stuff like that. I mean, there's that estimate that like all the Alaskan salmon are going to be gone at some point. So I'm sure that's affecting other sea life as well. I'm not exactly sure what all otters eat off the top of my head, but um, but I'm guessing like maybe their food source is being affected. I mean, that's the only time most creatures leave their preferred habitat is when they're starving and they don't have a choice. Like when you see a bunch of deer in a residential area, chances are it means those deer are hungry. Same with like when you see a coyote wandering around. I mean, unless it's like a rural neighborhood to begin with, then they might just be wandering around, or in some cases they might be lost. I mean, there's exceptions, of course, but usually it's because they're hungry. So something's going on with the marine life up there, probably. And that's why river otters are now attacking children and dogs. It's almost like we should do something about climate change. It's what more? My God, I would love to be in the imagination of somebody, or maybe just the mind of somebody who still is not convinced climate change is a thing. I I'm almost envious of their blissful ignorance. That it's like one coast is flooded, the other is on fire. There's floods and fires all over the freaking world. There are climate refugees based on not being able to grow the food they used to be able to grow in various parts of the world, and that's only increasing. We're seeing droughts, we're seeing heat waves. Now we have otters attacking kids. This is like out of Revelation. And there's some people out there who are still like, I think we're fine. Maybe let's just use less gas by like 2062. We'll be fine. I am envious of those people. I know that's a terrible thing to say. I know it's a terrible thing to say to be like, man, but to just wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, we're fine. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I look out at the ocean, and it's one of the most beautiful things in the fucking world. The ocean, it's amazing. How can you not look at the ocean and just be completely humbled and just be like, we are such a speck of dust in a huge, vast universe. And it's so amazing. And then you look at it and you'd be like, God, I want the future generations to enjoy this the way I'm still able to. I really do. And by the way, I mean, I'm enjoying it amidst oil spills that are happening. I mean, that oil spill at Huntington Beach didn't get to my area in Pedro, and it doesn't look like it's going to. Um, it looks like they're working on the cleanup, and hopefully they clean it up. But man, the otters are attacking the kids. Maybe that's when we'll finally fucking do something. Maybe that's what it's like. The otters started. If the otters attacked a bunch of I mean, I don't know. If the otters attacked a bunch of trust fund kids, we'd probably finally get some action on climate change. The straw in the camel's back had broken what if the otters attacked a gated community? Then something would be done. If a bunch of river otters, I doubt they attacked rich people in Anchorage. I doubt it was like Sarah Palin's family that had any issues. It was probably poor people. So they're like, wow, the otters are attacking dogs and kids. Shucks. But I'll tell you what, that might be what it takes. It is going to take river otters from Alaska to come down to California and attack a gated community. Then they'll finally do something about climate change. When it's like a river otter ate through a metal gate because it was looking for food, and it ate. I don't want anyone to get hurt. But maybe it'll attack a really rich person's dog. The dog will be okay. But that'll be what happens, where it's like we finally have to. All of a sudden, it'll be like, what does Greta Thunberg have to say? Let's hear her out. Let's listen to these scientists who have been like warning us for years. Let's heed what they're telling us. Let's listen to what they're telling us to do. Fossil fuels? Just use less of it? Oh no, that's not enough. We need to just get off it entirely. That sounds inconvenient. Oh well, we have to. Okay, all right. Okay, cool. And then before we know it, we're going to have completely new solutions. That's going to happen. Again, I've said this before. I'll say this again. You people who think we're going to get off of fossil fuels and then we're just going to live like we're Amish for the rest of that's not going to happen. Okay? I have technology in my pocket in an iPhone that can make a movie. I have technology in my pocket that is far more advanced than the technology that movie studios in Hollywood had 70 years ago. It's in my pocket now. It's in your pocket. It's in most people's pockets. We're not going to get off fossil fuel, which we need to do, and then all of a sudden be like, well, I guess we just gotta. We got these electric scooters. That's the pinnacle. That's the top of the mountain. No, we're gonna figure out other solutions. We're gonna have high-speed rails. We're gonna have electric cars everywhere. We're gonna figure out air solutions. It's gonna happen. What exactly is it going to look like? I don't know yet. There's going to be new types of batteries, and we're never going to be perfect. We're still going to use a lot of energy. We're still going to be, in many ways, a virus to the planet. That's just definitionally what we are, because we consume and consume and consume. But instead of acting like a deadly freaking cancer, we can act like a common cold. And the earth will be like, I could deal with a common cold. I'll let you assholes stick around a long time. So anyway, it'll take the river otters attacking a gated community. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Long Beach follows this up with more animal news. And here's some more animal news. This sucks. U.S. says ivory-billed woodpecker. I heard about this, and 22 other species are at stake. That's great. Good for us. So this is in Billings, Montana. Deaths come knocking a last time for the splendid ivory-billed woodpecker and 22 more birds, fish, and other species. The U.S. government on Wednesday declared them extinct. It's a rare move for wildlife officials to give up hope on a plant or animal. But now that's the norm. We seldomly give up hope, except we had to do it 22 times because the climate's collapsing. Again, I wish. God, to be in the brain of a person who's like, it's just a bad day. What are you gonna do? 22 species go. I don't know. I mean, I still like my golf course. What can you do? Anyway, and they warn that climate change, on top of other pressures, could make such disappearances more common as a warming planet adds to the dangers facing imperiled plants and wildlife. The ivory-billed woodpecker was perhaps the best-known species the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service declared extinct. The woodpecker went out stubbornly and with fanfare. What does that mean? Were there people cheering it on? Or are people like, come on, hurry up and die? So it's like when they celebrated the prohibition, like when the U.S. they were like, it's prohibition, and everyone was like, yeah, we're gonna celebrate with soda, I guess. No booze anymore. We're gonna celebrate this for some bizarre reason. What could possibly go wrong here? A lot did. A lot did. I had to fix my seat cushion. Um, is that what they did for the woodpecker? They were like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, Ramsey's dead. I don't know why I named the woodpecker Ramsey. That was a bad guy on Game of Thrones, but why not? Yeah, Ramsey just bit the bullet. Now there's no more of these woodpeckers. What are they called again? Ivory billed. Good thing we still got the gold build and the limestone build. They're still around. All right. So, when the ivory-billed woodpecker was perhaps the best-known species, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service declared extinct. And again, there was fanfare, whatever that means. The fauna and the flora declared extinct. Here's some of the other things they declared extinct. So, the Bachman's warbler, say that 5 times fast. That was last seen in 1988 in Florida and South Carolina. So what happened was the Bachman's warbler was not doing good. The Bachman was having a difficult time. And sometimes when you have a difficult time in your life, you go down to the corner. You know what I mean? Like you go down to the corner, you go down to Florida, or you go up to Maine, or you go out to California, maybe San Diego, or maybe somewhere near the Mexican border, or you go up to the Northwest. A lot of people in the corners, be it South or North, they're escaping something. And I say this as somebody who lives in the corner. I live in one of the corners. Literally, I live like the ocean's right there. And all the people who live in my neighborhood, they're that way too. That we live on the edge, literally, and it's because we're misfits in this country, and that's the place where we just feel at home. We feel at home. We're like the people who are trying to leave the party. We're at the front door, like being like, "Yeah, we're ready to bounce," but like the people that we're with, they're still chatting. Like it's like, yeah, we're ready, but my family is in there, and I can't. I gotta stay because they're here, and okay. So I'm gonna stay on the edge though here. This is where I could tolerate it. So the Bachman's warbler was having a difficult time. Went down to Florida, started experimenting with some bad drugs, and got a hit of something in the 80s and died. That's what happened to them because they were last seen in warbler. The brittled in Florida and South Carolina, excuse me. The brittled white-eye was last seen in Guam. So what happened was the brittled white-eye in 1983 went out to Guam and started stealing cars for a living. They crossed the wrong person, got a bullet in the head. What are you gonna do? And then the ivory-billed woodpecker, of course, the most famous, the star of this article, last seen in the southeastern U.S. in 1944. The ivory-billed woodpecker went off to World War II, never came home, and it was 1944, which was late. That was late, but they fell to duty. World War II ended in 45. I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure of that. So I have my September 2nd, 1945. So they were a late arrival, but in 1944 they were like, I'm gonna go serve my country, and they didn't make it out. So that's what happened there. All right, the Kwai Akola, I'm mispronouncing that, and the Kwai Nakupu, and those were both in Hawaii. The Nakupu was last seen in 1899. Yeah, I think it's safe to say they've bounced. And the Ikoloe was last seen in 1969. The 60s were a wild time in Hawaii, and the Koi Ikoloe, that I'm butchering it, and I apologize, but they were just partying too hard. They never had kids, they never settled down, and They died on a search for Jim Morrison. So there you go. Those species are explained. Um, and sadly, climate change is exacerbating all this. But there you go. There's the science for you as to why this is all happening. All right. So thank you for that, Long Beach. And Nina, what's up? In the More Things Change department, 2,600-year-old Neo-Babylonian breakup letter declares you have until the end of the month to pick up your flax shells and sandals, or else I will donate them to the Temple of the Moon God. What is this? I don't know. That's Nina's preamble. Nina kind of writes a nice preamble for me over on the Patreon, and I'm like, oh, what's in store for me? But this is from the Nerdbot. Check this out. This looks cool. Oh man, world's oldest breakup letter reads just as savage as the modern one. Did it have a mixtape that said their feelings? I want the world's oldest mixtape. Sadly, that probably goes back to like 19, I don't know. When were cassette decks first? It's not important. Anyway, you might think that breakup letters and things of the like started more recently. But like most things, it goes back to the very beginning of recorded history. A discovery of a Neo-Babylonian tablet in 2019 has been confirmed to be the oldest breakup letter in history. The contents of the letter are what you would expect too. There is evidence presented and the message to come pick up your things or they're gone. Pretty savage. Dude. Man. So check this out. Here's the letter. This was sent from King Nabonidus, who was jealous of a concubine's attention being split between he and his childhood friend. Didn't want to be Eskimo brothers with his buddies. So here's the letter. News has reached me via the upper Euphrates that you were visiting with my childhood friend Nisaba. I'm guessing back then visiting meant fucking. I mean, hopefully it didn't literally mean visit. I mean, that's pretty like she just said hello to one of his friends and he's like, "We're done." That's very insecure. That's pretty controlling and insecure and very toxic, quite frankly. But this was a king back in the day. I'm sure he was a complete asshole. So maybe that is what happened. Maybe his concubine, which by the way, this isn't like a steady partner or a wife, or this is a concubine, meaning like, I mean, that just meant like, that basically just means prostitute, I think, or just like, at the very least, he was just a sugar daddy or something like that. Like, I'll make your life good, and I get to have sex with you. I'm a king. I can literally do what I want. You have until the end of the month to pick up your flax shawls and sandals. And I think there was some code there. There was also some prehistoric lingerie going on. Or else I will donate them to the Temple of the Moon God. Well, at least he was charitable. At least this was a charitable king who was willing to give her stuff to the moon god. Nina, this is awesome, by the way. Thank you so much for finding this. This has made my day. Folks, for anyone just tuning in, this is the patron stream where I just do stuff that the patrons send me, and they send me all kinds of fun and quirky stuff, and I'm seeing this for the first time, and this is just a more relaxed stream. And right now, we're literally reading the world's oldest breakup letter. And it's from the Babylonian era. And this is, what was the date? Here, let me see. This is hilarious. Yeah, a Neo-Babylonian tablet. So this is the very beginning of recorded history. So it's like, archaeologists at Liberty University reported that the 6th century BCE Neo-Babylonian king sent what is thought. Okay, so this goes back to 6th century. It's really in human nature, the article goes on to say, to be drawn to drama. Unfortunately for this king, it means airing his dirty laundry centuries later. And if his concubine didn't pick up her dirty laundry, it got donated somewhere. Don't you wonder what happened to that laundry? That's something we will wonder for all of eternity. Did she pick up her shit? I mean, this was like a king in like prehistoric, you know what I mean? Like way back in the day. So I'm sure he's, total, like nothing that was socially permissible then would be permissible today. So it's almost like, I mean, maybe by those standards, this guy was a pretty progressive dude because he didn't just kill her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to make light of it, but it's like, the last king, if a concubine, just made eye contact with the wrong person, he would just behead her. This king is a lot more forward thinking. This king's just like, you talk to my friend, that's crossing the line. So pick up your shit and leave. No beheading. What a guy. He's the he was a feminist of the era. He's like, I'm not gonna behead, just get your shit. But you talk to my friend. Um, I feel like that has to be code for like they were, you know, they were engaging in sexual activity. But honestly, I mean, dude, King, get over it. You're just she's just a concubine. You even said that. Or how do we even maybe she's a he. We don't know. Uh yeah, I mean, who knows? One of my favorite concubines. I get to fuck whoever I want, but you fucked my friend and now we're done. I'm a king. I'm allowed to have these ridiculous standards. What a time. All right. So there we go. Fun times. Fun times there's the world's oldest breakup letter, folks. I'll read it again. News has reached me via the upper Euphrates that you were visiting, wink, wink, with my childhood friend Nasaba. Now, did he talk to Nasaba about this? What did Nasaba have to say? You got it all wrong, man. We're just friends. She was worried about you. She was like, the king hasn't been calling me in to bone him as much. Is something wrong? I am devastated by this betrayal as you are one of my favorite concubines. You're not my favorite, but you're up there. You're like top 5. And here you are visiting my friend. You have until the end of the month to pick up your flax shawls and sandals, or else I will donate them to the Temple of the Moon God. World's oldest breakup letter. Didn't make her a mixtape. Will always be left to wonder. All right. Thank you for that, Nina. That's awesome. You go on to share this. I'm shocked, I say. Dallas and Boston Fed chairman resign amid stock trading conflict of interest scandals. Of course they do. And conflict of interest scandals? No way. So this is from AmericanBanker.com. Boston and Dallas Fed chiefs at center of trading scandal to resign. Robert Kaplan, the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, announced he would step down this week, just hours after Boston Fed President Eric Rosengren said he would resign. Okay, so Rosengren, all right. So they were basically doing. How can I see the rest of this? I guess I probably can't see the rest of this without having or whatever. He wanted to eliminate any after it was revealed he had engaged in certain trading activity last year while privy to the central bank's internal discussion about his coronavirus response. Yeah, in white collar crimes, they just resign. They don't go to jail. No one will go to jail over this. They'll just resign. They were doing insider trading. They got caught. They got caught at a level where it couldn't be ignored. They're probably taking the fall for someone even more powerful than them. That's usually the case. Usually these people, even though they're very powerful people in their own right, they're actually taking the fall for someone even more powerful. But they got to take the fall. They got to take the medicine. They're just going to resign. They'll still make tons of money. They'll still get some kind of settlement. They'll still get some kind of severance package, and they'll be just fine forever. Life of the 0.1%, really. 0.1%. Thank you for that, Nina. And I have one other thing that I wanted to check out here. And I believe it was from this week. Let me get over them. These are all the stuff. These are all the things from last week, because last week we didn't have the stream because of the YouTube debacle. So I'm getting to all the stuff from last week. Edwin, what's up, buddy? And Edwin, you say this, and I appreciate this. Thanks for the music suggestions. I'm liking Hot Lips Messiah and Horror Pops. Both great. I recommend both of them. Hot Lips Messiah out of Chicago. Horror Pops, I believe, are out of Los Angeles. While listening to more and more of Jeremy and the Harlequins, great band out of Brooklyn, Jeremy and the Harlequins. One band you didn't suggest but talked about a few weeks ago is Chase Petra. Yeah, I saw them. They're out of Long Beach. They're really young. They're kicking ass. I like them a lot. I'll ask this question again. What music should I be listening to now before you go on holiday break in December? My question today Have you decided what your costume will be for Halloween? Fantastic question. What are your guys' so in the chat? Tell me what your costumes are. I'll get to some of them. And if you are able, please do leave a Rockfin tip or a super chat contribution. Um, I don't know what my costume's gonna be. I don't know. I What was I last year? It's funny. So we were supposed to be on tour right now. Graham and I are supposed to be on tour. We're not because of the variant. And if all went as planned, our last show was October 30th in Madison, Wisconsin, which means we were going to be flying home on Halloween. We were going to be flying back to Los Angeles on Halloween. So I kind of planned on at the beginning of the year when we thought touring was going to be back in full fashion and not just kind of back, but kind of not. And you have to make a judgment call what risk is okay and what probably shouldn't be taken, blah, blah, blah. Back when we thought everything was going to be back, we were supposed to be. I figured I wasn't going to have a Halloween because I thought I'm going to be flying on Halloween. So yeah, I don't know what my costume's going to be. What are your guys' costumes going to be? I need to be. I've had some shitty ones and some good ones. The worst costume I ever had that nobody appreciated or understood, except for one person, was I was robbed from High Fidelity. And basically, which by the way, great book, great movie. And I actually like, my favorite though? Well, the book is my favorite. But other than the book, my favorite is the TV series where they made Rob a female, played by Lenny Kravitz's daughter. I believe Zoe is her name, Zoe Kravitz. She did an excellent job. Full disclaimer, a friend of mine was one of the head writers on that, my friend Solomon, very funny comedian, Solomon Giorgio. So I guess I'm a little bit biased, but I was into that series before I even knew that. I was already watching that series. My wife and I loved it. And then one day in the credits, I was like, oh shit, Solomon's writing on this. So, I don't think the bias of, one of my friends is working on this show, informed my enjoyment of the show that much. You know what I mean? Which I believe that series is on Hulu, and I highly recommend it. It did not get renewed for a second season, and I was so disappointed by that. I thought it was such an excellent show, and I really loved that show, and it did not get a second season. But anyway, one year I was robbed from High Fidelity, which basically I just dressed as myself because I think I kind of already dress like a dude who runs a record store. I think that's, I mean, if someone had to guess, if I just walked around the way I usually looked and someone was like, guess this dude's job, I think people would guess he works at a record store. He works at a bookstore. He might be a professor. He might be in computers. Though that's probably what a lot of people would guess. And 3 out of 4 of those are actually kind of close in many ways and kind of fit me in many ways. The computer thing is just the glasses. I'm not good with computers. So, yeah. But anyway. So, to make a long answer longer, that was my worst costume that I've ever had. Another costume I had that wasn't that great. You know what? This costume I'm not proud of either. I went as I wore a T-shirt that said F minus on it, and then I just had I just had this like crappy face makeup on, and the my costume was underachievement. It was kind of stupid. I was high, and it was a last minute thing. It was really dumb. And when I would explain it to people, it was like one of those things you'd explain it to people, they just didn't want to talk to you anymore. You know, like it was at a party. And they're like, what's your costume supposed to be? And I was like, well, see, it's like I got a bad grade and my makeup's shitty. I'm underachievement. And they'd be like, oh, and just walk away. And I'd be like, wow, I'm not. Good thing I wasn't single at the time. Or I would have felt really bad. I would be like, huh? Underachievement, costume, high concept. What do you think, ladies? And they'd be like, not much. Not much. We don't. It was stupid. It wasn't creative. It came out of the brain of a guy in his early 20s who was stoned, and it was stupid. So I think that was even worse than my Rob from High Fidelity costume. For Rob, I just dressed like myself, and I think I forgot to add this detail. I had a sign that said, "What are your top 5 favorite records?" One person complimented me. One person was like, "I love it." The underachievement costume, no, not one compliment. Even people I explained it to, they were like, "No, that's just stupid," which I can accept. That's fair. It was a stupid costume, but I don't know. So now that I'm gonna have a Halloween, when tour got canceled, I told my wife, I was like, I'm going to make lemonade out of lemons the best I can, and we are going to enjoy our lives the best that we can. I know there's still a pandemic looming, so we got to kind of pick and choose what we're comfortable doing. So we're mostly still doing outdoorsy type stuff, but I said we're gonna enjoy our lives and we're gonna enjoy each other, and we're gonna kind of make the most of this. And so I want to do something special for Halloween. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays in the world. Well, it is my favorite holiday. I mean, there is no like, it's my favorite holiday. Um, One of my big dreams is to spend a Halloween in Edinburgh. That's something I want to do. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do that in 2023. Why not? 2023, I'm touring Europe. Now, the only thing is, I kind of want to do the Edinburgh Fringe. The Edinburgh Fringe is in August. Halloween is October. So that'd be a fuck of a long tour. If I was, I mean, I'd be over there for 2 months. I don't know if I want to be. I don't know if I can really be over there that long. That's a lot. I mean, I could do that many shows, but that's a lot. So, but I do have a dream to spend Halloween in Edinburgh. I really want to do that. So maybe my tour will be in the fall. I don't know. I love it. I love it out there in the fall. It's really wonderful. So we'll see. But Edwin, yeah, I do not have. I got to think of what costumes do you guys have? I got to think of something cool, and I got to think of something cool to do. I'm gonna make the most of Halloween this year, and I'm gonna have a damn good Halloween. That's a promise. Alexander, you have a challenge for me. So every patron stream, Alexander, which thank you very much for the Rockfin tip, Alexander. Alexander gives me a challenge where there are 3 bands and there's a concept going on within the names, and it's pretty easy to pick this up right away what the trend is, and I have to pick my favorite. This one is very, very, very hard. Gonna say that right now because these are 3 great bands, and I enjoy all 3 of these bands very much. All 3 of these bands have politics that I agree with. They're very outspoken in a way I appreciate, and I'm pretty sure all 3 of them are. I know 2 of them are for sure. And I'm pretty sure Rise Against is as well. They're all big lefties, all 3 of these bands. And I like all 3 of them. So having to pick between these 3 is very tough. But I do have to say there is one that if I had to rank these, I would put a little bit above the other 2. And my answer might surprise you this time. But Alexander, here it goes. Rise Against, Rage Against the Machine, or Against Me. They all have Against in the name. You guys get it. Very tough. I like Rise Against a lot. I like Rage Against the Machine a lot. I like Against Me a lot. I am a fan of all these bands. All these bands are lefty bands. They're outspoken. They're political. They got great music. But if I had to pick one, and this is not an easy pick, but if I had to pick one, I'd have to go Against Me. I love Against Me. I love Laura Jane Grace. I think she's an amazing human being. Her book is incredible. Her book is called Tranny. It is an incredible book. I highly recommend it. She has done and continues to just do amazing things, and the music's fantastic. I mean, I like the newer Against Me stuff too. I know some people but I thought their 2015 release, what was that? True Trans? Oh no, that was one of the songs again. Trans Dysphoria Blues. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name of the album off the top of my head. Let me look it up. Let me look up Transgender Dysphoria Blues. Excuse me. Um, Fantastic album. I thought it was great. I know some of the diehards who prefer the more stripped down, folky punk, gritty Against Me, which I love that too. they didn't like the polish of some of the newer albums, and in particular that album. But I did. I thought both worked. I love the lo-fi Against the Grain, Against Me, and I like the new, more rock and roll, um, more polished sounding Against Me too. I like them both. I think both works. I think the songs are great in both cases, and I love what they do. And Against Me is one of the few bands, maybe one of the, well, no, one of the few bands. There's only a few bands that I've seen twice in one day. Against Me is one of them. And it was at Riot Fest in 2015 in Chicago. At the time, I was going through a really difficult patch in my life. Really, really difficult. And I was living in my car. And I spent a lot of time with my friends from college, my friends Patrick and Melinda. I basically unofficially lived with them. Really, I pretty much lived on their couch, and I would just make dinner all the time and try to be the best house guest I could. And I had tickets to Riot Fest, and I was going to Riot Fest, and they did not go to Riot Fest because they were regular working people with jobs and responsibilities and shit. I was just a drifting comedian who said, "Fuck it, I'm taking a few days off and going to Riot Fest because I got a press pass because I had a radio show at the time." It wasn't all doom and gloom, folks. There were some perks, but so I went to Riot Fest, and there was this after party that Against Me was throwing, and I was able to score tickets for that, and so were my friends. So I went to hang out with them. So I saw Against Me at Riot Fest in the day, and then I saw them again at this after party at night, and it was badass. Saw them do 2 sets in one day. So as difficult as that one was, Alexander, I gotta go Against Me. Not easy. Not easy on those three. But I gotta go Against Me. But shout out to all three of those because they're all great. They're all great. Richard Talk, what's up? I hope all is well. I think you're out in the UK. I hope all is well with you and Shelly, and I can't wait to see you in 2023. UK tour is happening in 2023. I don't know if it's just going to be me or if it's going to be me and Graham. I don't know how extensive it's going to be. I don't know the details yet, but it's for sure going to happen. And feel free, Richard, where are you guys at? What's your city? You can say, I won't say it out loud either if you don't want me to. You can email it to me if you want. If you kind of want to keep that private. I know some people, they're a little private about that sort of thing. But I'm going to be touring out there. And I don't know, I know the obvious. I know London, Manchester, I guess maybe Leeds, Liverpool, and then, of course, out in Scotland, Edinburgh, and I guess Glasgow, right? And then maybe Belfast out in Ireland, Dublin. I need to know the cities better than I do, but I'll figure all that out, once we plan a tour. But anyway, Richard, you say, "Hey Ron, all the best, buddy. Keep up the good fight. Love, Rich and Shelly." Thank you for that, Richard. And yeah, we are all going to. And again, to kind of circle it back to where we started, I know in some ways things are still so shitty, and I know a lot of you feel it, but we are going to get through this, and we got to keep fighting. And, I'm very much a realist. I don't sugarcoat anything, but even being a realist, I know we're going to get through this, and there will be better days ahead. There just will. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And look, I know that, it's not like we all know each other personally. Well, some of us do, but I'm always an email away, and I do mean that sincerely. I really do mean that sincerely. I know that, the relationship you have with content online is certainly different than the relationship you have with your family or with your real life friends. I certainly know that there's not, it doesn't replace any of that by any means, nor would I want it to, nor should it. That's not healthy. But I think in a lot of ways, it is its own thing. It really is its own thing. And that doesn't make it, that makes it significant. So, I hope everyone knows I am an email away all the time. You can just go to ronplacone.com, email me. It goes straight to me. And I get back to everybody with a few exceptions. I mean, if it's like a total trolling email, I might not respond because I'll just be like, there's nothing good that could happen from me responding to this. Or if it's just like some forum email where you're just like spamming me with information that I never really asked for, I might not respond to that. Now, if you send me information, that's different. If you say, "Hi, Ron," and you send me something, that's different. You're trying to share something with me and you're writing to me. But if you just added me to an email list that I didn't sign up for, or you're just like you have a form letter and you just included my email on it, I might not get back to that because it's just a form letter. I don't even know where to respond to half the time. But personal emails, I get back to all of them, for the most part. And it might take me a little bit. You might need to remind me after, like, if a week or so goes by. It will likely take me a few days, but I get back to everyone. So feel free to email me. And some of you said I do feel less alone for being here, as pathetic as that is. That's not pathetic. I mean, really, and I'm not. I know you're joking around, and but joking aside, that's not pathetic at all. It's not pathetic at all that you know in the hyper vicious world we live in, to and in the global village we live in that breeds so much toxicity, so much. It's not pathetic at all to find some solace where you can. And for some people, it's a comedian who talks about punk rock and politics and loves his black cat. For some people, you connect with that, and that's great. That's fantastic. I mean, hey, it means the world to me because it means I feel less alone. I feel less alone when I do these streams. I feel less alone when I talk to you guys. I feel less alone when I read your emails. So there's nothing pathetic about that. Now, it's kind of pathetic when I melt down over the smallest thing involving my cat. And I'm working on that. I'm working on that for the sake of my wife's sanity. That's a little bit. So just think like Ron's got there's doting cat guy, and then there's Ron, and he's taking it to a disturbing level. Really, he is. So that is pathetic. That is, but what can I do? She's my girl. What can I do? I'm working on it. I really am. Thank you very much, Richard and Alexander, for helping to keep this show on the air. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Nina, Long Beach, and Edwin for this week's topics. And Edwin, you gave me a task. I got to find my Halloween costume. Maybe next week I'll have an actual answer. I'll know my Halloween costume and I'll say it. Guys, thank you for being here. You make this show possible. Again, this was the patron/Rockfin Premium stream. The regular stream, I respond directly to patrons and Rockfin Premium members. The regular stream goes out to everybody, so we can all chat, and it goes out to everybody. But the replay is only available on Patreon and Rockfin Premium. Patreon is where I post everything now, not just the members' content, but all content. So if you want to keep up with what I'm doing and you don't want to miss anything, best thing to do is either be a Rockfin Premium member or a patron. And joining my Patreon is a give what you can level. So if you think I want all of Ron's stuff, the bonus content, the stand-up vids not available anywhere else, the when there's free show tickets, I let patrons know. And everything else I do is just posted there. Every stream, every video, every podcast, it is posted on my Patreon. So if you're like, I just want a one-stop shop for everything Ron, you can get that for as low as $1 a month. My Patreon is a give what you can level. So even $1 a month goes a long, long way, because I'm looking to build a community more than anything else. I want people to be able to join my Patreon, and I don't want it to hurt them financially. So if you're thinking, gee, I don't have a ton of money, but I got an extra $1 a month, I'm not going to miss $1 a month. Patreon.com/Ron Placone. And it means the world and then some that I'm able to do this. And so thank you all for being part of it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your thoughts and your well wishes. And thank you again, Edwin, Nina, and Long Beach for this week's topics. Thank you, Richard and Alexander. And so Richard, you told me where you're at. All right. I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I am already going to start a folder for the UK tour. It's a long way away. I mean, I'm working on 22 right now, which, by the way, Canada, I'm coming, Canada, to your country. I'm not having an orgasm right now. That would be weird and disturbing. And why would I only tell people in Canada? Why wouldn't I just? I mean, this is the internet. But Canada, Toronto, any venue recommendations? Montreal, same question. Ottawa, same question. Vancouver, same question. Where else should I go? Edmonton, what are your thoughts? You get it. Thank you guys so much for being part of this. And in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy, she says meow. And I say peace, love, and a general strike. I'll see y'all next time.